everyone, welcome to an updated sunscreens video. Now, quite a long time ago, as part of a K-beauty series, I did a video on sunscreens that don't make you break out. And even though it's several years old, it's still one of the most watched videos on my channel. So I thought it was about time I did an updated version with some of the same, some new sunscreens that I just love. So a little bit of background, I have dry combination skin, but I am acne prone and my skin is very sensitive. It gets red very easily. My eyes get like stingy and watery very easily. Like some chemical sunscreens that I've tried, like in European ones, have like really irritated my skin. Like, I'm not an expert on the different types of UV filters, but I do know that some chemical filters seem to irritate my skin. So these sunscreens that I'm gonna share with you do contain chemical UV filters, but none of them cause me any irritation, and that's super important to me. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is this one from Purito, the Centella Green Level Unscented Sun Cream. It is SPF 50 and it is PA quadruple plus. Yes, you had that right. It has 4 pluses after the PA. Now, this is an all-round great sunscreen for people with all different types of skin type. If you are oily, if you are dry, I honestly think anybody could use this. And that's because it's water-based, so there's no oils. This unscented one doesn't have any natural essential oils either. The original one has some essential oils in it. This one is completely free of mineral and essential oils. It has no scent. It is hydrating, but it's water-based, so it's not oily or greasy or sticky at all. It has photo-stable UV filters. Now, I'm not an expert on UV filters, okay? But I can do some Googling so that you don't have to. And there are older UV filters that are chemical filters, and there are more new chemical UV filters, and the newer ones have been developed to be more photostable. This means that they don't break down as easily or as quickly when exposed to UV light, because what happens with your chemical UV filters is that as they absorb the UV light in order to protect your skin, the UV light breaks down the chemical filter over time. So within the first 35 minutes of sun exposure, you can lose like a good 10+% of your like SPF like level if the UV filters are more old-fashioned filters that break down. Now, photostable UV filters are more modern ones that are developed to not break down over time, which means that the protection that you get when you put it on is maintained over a longer period. It doesn't mean you never have to reapply it, because they will still break down a little bit. You know, they're not perfect, but they are better than old-fashioned ones. And again, I'm not an expert, but I do know that there are certain modern photostable UV filters that are approved for use in Asia and in Europe that are not approved to be put into American products. And that means that if you're looking for a good photostable UV chemical filter, you're probably better off looking in the Asian and European market if you're an American, rather than buying an American sun cream, because the FDA has been kind of slow about approving new UV filters. I mean, obviously everyone needs to do their due diligence and do lots of tests and make sure everything works and everything, but they have been pretty slow about approving new UV filters. So going to the Asian market, you will get some more modern ingredients. Now, like I said, this is hydrating without being greasy or sticky. It absorbs really nicely. Like, it doesn't absorb completely to the point where you feel like you put nothing on your face. Like, you can definitely feel like a moisturizing sort of protective layer on your skin, but it isn't heavy. So with this, I love putting makeup on top of this. Like, makeup applies on top of this so well. I mean, this basically does not affect the wear of my makeup at all. It does not make it greasy. It does not make it break up. It does not make it wear for any less time. Like, this is great for underneath makeup. Also, it's got an ingredient called Centella asiatica, which is why it's called the Centella Green Level Sunscreen. And that's just something that reduces skin irritation and helps prevent like hyperpigmentation and wrinkles. So all around here, you've got a really high quality sunscreen. It is genuinely scent free. Like, it does not smell of anything. Like I said, oil free, great for acne prone skin, great for sensitive skin, really high quality UV filters. You're going to get that SPF 50 protection. You can wear it under makeup. It honestly, like, if you were going to buy one sunscreen, buy this one, and I don't think you would ever need to really have anything else for your face. Yeah, okay, moving on. This one was in my old video, so I will go through this one as well, but a little bit quicker. This is the Aloe Soothing Sunscreen from CosRx, and I've been using this for so many years. Now, I first bought this when I was struggling to find a sunscreen that didn't irritate my skin, because like I said, I have sensitive skin, and some UV chemical filters seem to irritate my skin somehow. I don't know exactly which ones, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just that my skin is sensitive. I don't think I'm like allergic to them. I just think I have sensitive skin. And this was the first Korean sunscreen I bought, and I was just blown away by it, honestly. Like, this was my first experience with a Korean sunscreen, and I was so impressed that it didn't break me out, because I just used to avoid putting sun cream on my face because it would make me break out. And it's really sad because obviously we're worried about skin cancer. That's a massive concern. And then obviously there's wrinkles and pigmentation and everything. But if your sunscreen is going to make you break out, you're not going to want to wear it. And so I was super impressed when I bought this. And this is when I basically went to wearing sunscreen on my face every single day because I could and I didn't have to worry. Now, this is a little bit heavier than this one. They're both hydrating. This one I think is more from combination to dry skin. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this if you have oily skin because it is a little bit thicker, a little bit creamier. It's definitely very hydrating. It has that aloe in it as well, obviously, which is a nice soothing and hydrating ingredient. So this one I tend to wear when I'm not going to wear makeup, just because it has a slightly thicker consistency that doesn't wear quite as well under a foundation. It isn't greasy or sticky though, even though it is hydrating. And it does have a mixture of physical and chemical sunblocks. So although personally I have obviously very pale skin and it doesn't have a ton of titanium in it, so it doesn't cause a white cast on me, I would say be aware if you're someone with a deeper skin tone. I don't know if it would cause a white cast on you. Like, to me, it looks completely see-through, but I can't promise that titanium isn't going to cause a tiny bit of white cast in someone with a much deeper skin tone than mine. But I do think it would be minimal based on my experience with it. Again, this has environmentally friendly UV filters. It contains a mixture of chemical filters, some of which are more photostable than others, but it does contain some of those more modern photostable UV filters. It does also contain a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of fragrance. So if you have very sensitive skin, you might want to avoid it because of that. Personally, like, I do have sensitive skin and I do usually actually avoid products with alcohol, but this has never caused me any problems. It's never caused any dryness. It's actually very hydrating and it's never irritated my skin at all. Okay, so long-term love, still love it, still using it. Third, this is from Heimish and this is the Artless Glow Base. Now, if you're looking for something to wear under makeup that is like a combination primer sunscreen, this could be for you. Now, this isn't clear. This has like a pearlescent pink finish. It's intentionally glowy. It's like using a glowy primer for under your makeup. It's not glittery. I'll say that. It's not glittery. It's not chunky. It's more like pearlescent. It's really pretty. If you want to look super dewy, you can just wear it on its own without makeup. But also if you're going for like a more glowy makeup look, this works super well as a base. It's still SPF 50, just like the others. It has quite a lightweight texture. It absorbs really nicely, so it's not too heavy if you are a more combination of oily skin type. I don't think you would not be able to use this. It might be a little bit moisturizing for the T-zone for some people if you have an oilier skin type. But if you have, I have dry skin. If you have anything from like combination to dry skin, I don't think you will have any problems with this breaking up your makeup in the T-zone because it is kind of like a primer cum moisturizer. If you're someone who wouldn't wear a hydrating primer because you have oily skin, I wouldn't recommend it. But anyone else, I think it's great. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm just rambling, but I'll get to my point eventually. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's pearlescent. It's really glowy. It works really well under makeup. It absorbs nicely. It's got almost a serum-like texture. It does contain a little bit of titanium dioxide, and it does look has a tiny bit of a white color to it. So potentially if you have a much deeper skin tone, it could cause a little bit of white cast. Has a little bit of scent, but nothing strong or obnoxious, and it fades quite nicely. And yeah, it's almost a little bit serumy in texture. Like, I really love this. I think this works so well under makeup. I mean, I don't think you can, I'm like down to here in this bottle. Like, I've got a new one in the cupboard because I'm almost through it. It's a little bit expensive, but if you can find it on sale, I would definitely recommend it. I've always bought this on sale. I buy almost everything on sale. I just wait, and then I stock up. But yeah, this is super lovely under makeup if you're looking for that glowy look. So those are my 3 Korean sunscreens that I use on a regular basis and that I love. I wanted to throw an honourable mention into a Western sun cream, even though, you know, I don't think it's as good as these 3 that I've mentioned, but it is something that I've been using for a very long time, and it is purely physical sunblock, and that is the Clinique City Block SPF 25. Now, they also make an SPF 40. The SPF 40 also has chemical sunblocks in it, but the SPF 25 is only physical sunblock. And so if you are someone who is allergic to all chemical filters and they irritate your skin, and you know, something like this is still not good enough and you want a purely physical sunblock, I would recommend this. Obviously, the downside of a physical sunblock is that it does have that kind of thicker texture and it does have that like white tint. In this, they've combated that white tint by adding a skin tone tint. So this kind of almost looks like a very lightweight BB cream. It does actually perfect the skin tone a little bit. I wish they would bring this out in some different shades. I think obviously they've put enough pigment in this to counteract the white cast on like a lighter Caucasian kind of skin tone. Like, I'll show you the colour of it actually. Oh, it's like just exploded when I took the lid off. That's the colour of it. So you can see on my skin tone it almost looks like nothing, and that combats the white cast for someone like me. It won't necessarily combat the white cast for obviously someone with a much different skin tone. So I think it would be nice if Clinique made this in like a variety of shades, even if it was only like 4 or something, because this kind of tint colour is not going to work for everybody. But this is really nice if you are looking for a physical, completely 100% physical sunblock, and this is also oil free. It's only SPF 25. But it is still a good sunblock. So that was everything. Sorry that was a bit long and rambly. I did not mean it to be that long and rambly, but I guess that's just the mood I'm in today. Yeah, wear sunblock. It's good for you. And with these, you can do it without worrying that you're gonna have the negative side effect of spots. Like if you buy one, if you have super sensitive or acne prone skin, I would go with the Purito one. That's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. There's still my old sunblock video on my channel from a few years ago if you want to see a couple of other sunblocks that I have used. Don't know if they're still available though, like those ones, like that's from like 2017 or something. Like some of those products might not be available anymore. I don't know. I don't know if the Aloe one is still available. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and say bye. Okay, see you next time. Bye.